Hi Pisces, here's a general look at your solar chart for October 2014. Now, this is an unusual month from the point of view of eclipses because there's going to be 2 eclipses in October, and I made another video called The Eclipses of 2014, I think, and there should be a link to that here somewhere. But these eclipses are finishing now for the year in October, and they will kind of help to culminate things and finish things off, but also to start fresh stuff. So for you, the places that the eclipses are going to occur are quite important, but the emphasis of the eclipses throughout the whole of the year has been on the IU axis. That's to say, in the area of important relationships and how I meet that you in the world, you know, outside of me, but also how you relate with the you within yourself, and your relationship within always will dictate the caliber and the quality of the relationships outside. So if you do not have a good relationship with yourself within, if you do not respect yourself, honor yourself, and love yourself, not in a self-indulgent ego way, I don't mean that, but in an honest kind of a way, then you cannot ever hope to have a decent kind of meeting of minds and hearts and bodies and spirits and souls. Yeah, let's have the whole lot. Did I miss anything? On the outside of your life, because the signal that you give out just isn't going to draw that person to you if you are all confused about yourself and critical, maybe even because you are, maybe your opinion of yourself has been distorted by negative input in your earlier life, which is nearly, I would say 100% the reason why we get negative self-judgment and negative like records and scripts running in our heads about ourselves. Because I mean, you know, look at us. I mean, what an amazing piece of equipment we are for navigating through this dimension. I mean, you know, it's not going to be proud or selfish to love that, is it? But also to love the intrinsicness of you at your core as well. Warts and all, indeed. So anyway, the lunar eclipse on October the 8th is going to be in Aries, which is in your quite materialistic area for you. And it's about how you relate with others, to do with the material side of life. So that will be property, that will be money, that will be the incomings, the outgoings, and other resources as well. And eclipses are great. Eclipses are neutral energies of fresh starts, new beginnings, and positive change. So this is allowing you to through your relationships and through your approaches in those relationships and through what you totally highly value in your life, and you put a value on you and what you deserve and what you're entitled to in this life, oh yes, then this eclipse can help you to step into new things. And as you're changing that signal, because we all need to kind of clean up our act a little bit about our opinion about ourselves, then you radiate differently and you draw to you who or what it is that you need on that new signal frequency. And then things can go to the next level related to money, property, and you know, making the most of that. But also, last but not least, this area here is how you're relating to yourself and your own gifts, your own talents, and how you're using those, how you are actually honoring those in this life. Now, that eclipse is pinned to Uranus because the moon is on that day connecting to Uranus, and that is the planet of revolution, fresh things, new beginnings, change. So it's very much in the same mode as the eclipse itself, which is about fresh starts on things. So this is the planet of awakening, and this energy can help you awaken, maybe not right on the day itself, but it will be kind of in the pipeline. And then the energy of the eclipse and the intention you set within the 24 hours of eclipse, usually it's good to do it the day before and on the day itself, particularly before the eclipse, or actually at the eclipse, but not all of us are available, you know, right on at the moment of the eclipse, because we might be asleep or working or something, depending on where we are in the world. But anyway, try to do it the day before or before the eclipse. Just set a statement of intent on how you would like it to be better in your life, and then that eclipse energy rolls out and unfurls and unfolds over the month or even more months to come. At the same time as that eclipse, on October the 8th, we have the Grand Fire Trine pattern in the sky. This is a big triangular pattern in the sky, and one end of the triangle is pinned to the planet Uranus and the eclipse. So this is really going to mobilize the energy of the Grand Fire Trine, which is hugely positive and is truly a gift, actually, in these times which are so hard, during the increasing contrast that the higher frequency and the brighter light is bringing to our planet since December 2012. The polarization is getting even more intense, of the old world and the old mores and the old beliefs and the old systems being overturned and pinned to the floor. But they're kicking and screaming all the way because they have the power. So, but it's like a wounded monster, you know, dragon or something. Dragons aren't necessarily monsters at all, but you know what I mean. When the animal that's used to having all the power and dominance is wounded, it becomes a very, very dangerous animal. So that's what we're going through at the moment. And we will get through it. We will get through to the end. And then this amazing new innovative time will bring about this world that was promised, you know, long ago. But it could take a number of years. However, let's get back to now. So this Grand Fire Trine is great. You know, it's the rabbit out of the hat, and it's a moment to maybe take a bit of a leap of faith, and it is related to the area that I've just been talking about with you. Because it is connecting in with the eclipse, and that's where it will perhaps express itself most strongly. So watch that space around October the 8th. Set your statement of intent to the universe, because the energy of change and inspiration is afoot, and you need to yeah, because it's connected to Pluto, there is, as I'm putting it, like VAT or TVR, or what do you call it in income tax, not income tax, sales, you know, value added tax. I don't know what you call it in the USA, but you know what I mean. There's a bit of a price to pay because of the Pluto connection onto Uranus, onto the eclipse. And that is letting go of something which is stagnant, which is irrelevant now. Might have been relevant before, but it's irrelevant now. To do with the past, to do with the way you are, to do with your habits, to do with your, you know, whatever it is, and letting that go in exchange for something fresh and really quite exciting to be coming along and to flourish in your life. But of course, it really depends on your natal chart to know how any transit or these eclipse energies are going to be panning out in a little bit more detail. Now, what else is going on in October 2014? Well, as the month begins, the Sun is in an area of transition. It's an area where you can be very intuitively weighing the odds, feeling your way forwards, and it can be related to property, money, jointly held interests, jointly held property, maybe. It could be something as small as borrowing, lending, or it can be something much, much bigger and more important than that. And you may be weighing up somebody else's position, how they're coming at it, whether you got all the facts. You're not really in the mood to give them all the facts, or maybe you just want to keep certain things to yourself for some kind of other reason. But you do also feel more sensitive at this time. You're musing over some deeper questions. You're squaring up to a few home truths, perhaps, and transition will occur as you come to your bottom line and you say, okay, I can let go of this, I can compromise on that, but this I absolutely cannot change. This is my bottom line. And then you move on from there. But listen to your intuition, because this is a very strong place for the sun to be for your inner guidance. Now, at the same time, Venus is there, and I should have mentioned that that area there that the sun is in is also potentially where your feelings can be deeply touched by somebody for whatever the reason, in a sort of romantic sense or in another kind of way. But Venus is there as well, and that gives even more possibility of emotional depth. Something can get you to catch your breath. Something touches your feelings very deeply, or it can be moved around the other way. You can touch somebody else's feelings very deeply. You can appeal to their better nature, maybe. It's great also for the romantics and artists among you, the Venus and Sun transit through that area there. And in general, it can mean things may become just more intimate or involved or just downright sizzly. But Venus also rules money, so Venus in this area here can be very good news for anything around joint interests in property, finances, possessions, other resources which have a material value. So it doesn't have to be a moral value or an emotional value. It can be a material value, but it can be all of them or any of them. And then both the Sun and Venus move. So Venus moves on the 24th into a much more expansive area, but the Sun has moved the day before. So the Sun moves on the 23rd and Venus moves on the 24th into a more expansive area. But I mustn't miss out Mercury, because Mercury up until the 11th is very much focused on this expansive area, distant places, you know, home thoughts from abroad sort of thing, connecting with others to get the information you need, somebody who is in a position to know, whereas you're not, because you are physically located somewhere, or indeed you are learning something, you're taking a course, you're doing training, somebody who's got the training and the experience that you need. But plans could be forming in your mind, and even though you're weighing it up, you're pondering, a plan is forming, is beginning to get clearer and clearer in your mind, and you could even be looking into the legal side of things, some of you. But then Mercury on the 11th starts retrograding backwards and goes into Libra, and from the 11th, Mercury in Libra slows down that plan, slows down that sort of direction of travel that you were going in, and making you more kind of devious or strategic or shrewd, but also intuitive. Again, that's when Mercury is coming in the same area as the Sun and Venus. And that is that very intuitive area where you want to be confidential. Maybe you will apply for advice in a confidential way to somebody, but equally somebody could come to you for confidential advice on something, and you've got to be there, you know, there in a very impartial kind of a way to help them. But your thinking could be revolving around the financial side of things, the property side of things, the emotional side of things, the obligation side of things, the contract side of things, okay? And you could be feeling quite passionate about somebody or something, but you're thinking, okay, you know, what about the conditions here, or what's riding on this, or what else would be involved? You know, it's all about the imponderables, really, and listening to your heart and your gut, but not letting your heart override your gut. In fact, there should be another way of saying that, because there's like the heart gut and then there's the emotional heart. So what I'm talking about is the heart gut here. It's not the, oh dear, I'm going to die, you know, unless I have this thing or this person, or because we all get over that. But it's the deeper knowing, I suppose, or I could say the higher knowing, really, couldn't I? It was a bit of a sweeping statement to say we all get over that, because we all learn to live with it. It depends to what degree it's happening, isn't it? But we're all learning from it, because in this place of polarization, and with this increased light now, which is increasing and deepening the shadows in our dualistic dimension, in our you know, we live in duality. So it's increasing the shadows there and polarizing things, making things blacker and whiter, with less and less and less sort of kind of sharper contrast between things. Now then, and that teaches us lessons, doesn't it? It teaches us, you know, which way we want to be going in this life, which of course has always got to be in the direction of expansion and the light, because expansion and the light rules the whole lot: duality, unity, everything. Now, until the 26th, the Mars position indicates it's a period for you to be putting effort into your responsibilities in life, being there in a responsible kind of a way, in a reliable kind of a way, going, you know, for the goals and the ambitions, being formal, presenting yourself in a certain kind of a way, thinking more about image maybe. And over this transit, you will need to work to the standards of authority, to the standards, to your own standards, really, but also looking into the bureaucracy maybe a bit more, looking into the paperwork, the forms, but just getting on with the master plan. And then Mars moves into a very future-orientated area where you can be getting on with something you've been waiting to do for a very long time, and that's got a really progressive, forward-moving feel to it. And that'll be there for several weeks. And then until late year, Saturn is in a very supportive aspect to your sun sign and helping you with getting deeper insights into the truth behind things that you've idealized, that you've put on a pedestal, things and people, in fact, and realizing, you know, their warts and all sort of thing, and nothing is as you really, in that area there that you're looking at, as perfect as you thought it was. It's just seeing the reality, waking up and smelling the coffee, and being steady and patient in all matters to do with education, training, different cultures, different languages, any kind of legal situation you're in, or looking into, and also aligning more with a higher knowledge somehow or other, and perseveringly working at that alignment, and also becoming more wise yourself and being there for others with your advice yourself, and connecting more with others who are needing advice, perhaps. And you Pisceans born in the last 10 days, the end of the middle 10 days, or the beginning of the final 10 days of your sign, or with 19 to 25 degrees rising, going to feel the energy the most. Jupiter will be in your area of health and work until next August, and that will be giving you opportunities to learn and grow through those two areas there, opening the door to different kinds of daily duties and routines, but also ways of working as well, potentially, and getting the chance to experience situations where you are having to learn through doing, very, very hands-on, you know, no time to sort of sit down and ponder it. You just got to get on and do it. And you Pisceans born in the middle 10 days, or the very beginning of the last 10 days, or with 15 to 21 degrees rising, going to feel this energy the most this month. And that's it for October. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, listen to those. But also, I put out that other little video. And also the other thing I did this month was I do work with guidance. I always have worked with my astrology, but with guidance, which comes from a level of more expanded consciousness than my little brain could ever reach. So I usually try to sort of sync with that guidance when I'm doing my analysis of the charts, but actually this month that guidance has come through straight on its own, because I asked it to, and just give you all a very, very simple message for the month. So that also would have been uploaded about the same time as these, and it might be called Guidance for October 2014, something like that, from Diana, something like that. But you can find it because you can see the date that it was put on, and or it might have been put on first. But anyway, I'm rabbiting now. I'm rabbiting on. So it's probably going to be there at the same time, and have a look for that. And I hope you enjoy it and get something out of it. And I'll see you the next time.